Hi, this is Managing iPads in the Classroom with Ashley Muchler and Ashley Williams. I'm Ashley Muchler. I'm the ITS at Austin and Travis, and today also is Ashley Williams, the ITS at Elliott and Stipes. So we wanted to start off with this. Rule number 1 is when you have technology in the classroom, you are no longer the smartest person in the room. And that's a big issue with control with a lot of teachers, so you have to be comfortable with the fact that students may find out something that you've said is wrong or may challenge it and that they may be right. So really being flexible and open to using the iPads for better or for worse is sort of what we're hoping for here. What does managing a classroom with iPads look like? First of all, classroom management. You have to have great management if you're going to use technology. Lesson development, you have to have a strong lesson. You have to have clear expectations, consistency. Your arrangement has to be conducive. And you have to be able to navigate the trials and tribulations that come along with first use. And finally, no secrets. So this is how we'll divide up our video today. First of all is classroom management. Managing a classroom full of iPads is mostly about managing the students. A lot of people are insecure that they don't know a lot about the iPads, but really you know your students best, and so that's basically where you need to start. Use the same tools and rules for technology management as you do for normal classroom management. So don't throw things in there that they haven't done before, but you want to be consistent. Avoid taking away the device if the rule is broken. If a student was misbehaving, you wouldn't take away their paper or their worksheet. So you want to find a logical consequence for their behavior. Next, lesson development. A good lesson that keeps students involved will reduce classroom problems, and this is regardless of technology. In your plan, spell out exactly how you want students to use the iPads. Create your own expectations. It might be that they'll be to a certain point of the lesson by the end of class. It could be that they'll be finished with something and moving on, but you need to set very clear expectations that you're comfortable with. Make sure the technology is appropriate and not a distraction. Have a backup in case the iPads aren't working or they're not working with your specific application or website. And don't assume all students know the technology skill you're using. Finally, consider having the ITS academic specialist or librarian co-teach with you. Oftentimes, having an extra set of adult eyes and ears can be helpful. Expectations. It's important to set up clear rules and expectations for iPad use, just like you would with your regular classroom. Students are expected to be on task using the iPad, so this is an example. Students are expected to be speaking to one another appropriately while using the iPads. Be clear in what you expect from all your students. If there's a failure to meet the acceptable use procedures, there should be a consistent consequence. So you don't want to jump to something new. It's very unlikely that your classroom rules state first warning, second take away iPad. So you want to manage student behavior much like you do normally. Make sure you and your students know the consequences and you're ready rather than doling them out as problems arise. And let them know up front, if you go to an inappropriate website, then I'm going to have you share one with another student, etc. If there are times when technology is used exceptionally well, then make sure there's some kind of reward. So you might want to, maybe there could be a substitute reward, or maybe they can get to play a game or show somebody, or get something as part of your classroom that they wouldn't normally use. But definitely praise those kids that are doing it correctly. Be sure to review the acceptable use policy with your students. Be sure to check that your students are allowed to be using technology in the classroom per the acceptable use that is sent to them at the beginning of the year. These lists are normally kept in the front office. Consistently. Be consistent with how the iPads are used in your classroom. So if you have them each assigned a number at the beginning of the day, don't have that change up So you want to be very consistent. If you have each student assigned a number, you want to keep that going and not have some where you don't and some where you do. Visual instructional plans like anchor charts describe and explain how to do simple tasks of the iPads. Be clear on the level of work that's expected with the use of the iPads in the same way you are with classroom with non-technology related tasks. So don't just focus on sort of the cool things the iPad can do, but show them how you want their work to reflect a deep content knowledge. Classroom arrangement. Depending on the task, students may be in groups collaborating or at their individual desks. Management by walking around the room is key. Proximity control will save your life with iPads. Now, the first time you use the iPads can be a little bit scary. You should turn on and use the same technology that they're using prior than giving them to the students. For those of you who have iPads or iPad carts available for checkout, you definitely want to get one maybe the weekend or the day before your class uses them so you can play around with them and navigate them. Institute with your students the rule of 3. That is, ask 3 before me. So if a student has a question about something on an iPad, have them ask at least 3 other peers before they come to you. Though a lot of the students don't have iPads, many have iPods and iPhones, and they may be able to help each other with a simple fix. And so you want to facilitate this classroom culture of help rather than having 20 to 30 kids come rush your desk for a simple question. Try a group project first so students can help each other if you're assisting another group. And iPads lend themselves well to stuff like that, or especially to projects that have multiple parts. So there may be a presentation component, a research component, and those can be worked on individually while still in a group. Be sure to review the rules and procedures for proper use. Be sure all iPads have a fully charged battery. iPads are definitely better than netbooks. Usually their battery lasts about 10 hours, but you want to make sure that your card or the iPads you're using are fully charged before you get them. And finally, no secrets. Let the students know that there are no secrets. I would suggest having different numbered iPads assigned to different students and letting them know that you can see everything through their internet history and it is date and time stamped. So if group 1 has iPad 1 during first period and there's an issue, you can go back through the internet history, trace it to that group and trace it to that iPad. So that's the best way to keep students accountable. And of course we can view all student email through district applications. The end. Thank you for your participation. Please see your campus ITS if you'd like more information, and you may now move on to the next section.